Welcome in, everybody. We got a wide eye mock draft, and if you're here, it is about to turn into March Madness over here, but not the kind you're used to. We're going to get right into it. We're going to do all sorts of crazy stuff. No, I'm just kidding. We're just going to do a normal mock draft. We're going to get out of the way. But I was the GM of the last mock draft we did. So we are going to have a new GM. The winner of this coin flip will have the chance to defer or take the GM position for themselves between Riley or Spoon. So they will have their choice.
You mean to call it, Riley?
Riley?
Yeah, go for
it. Call it right. When I say now, call it, because there's a little delay. So then I'll flip it. Okay. Now.
Tails.
It is tails. It is tails. It is tails. So Spoon has won the toss. Would you like to defer or would you like to keep the GM for yourself?
I'm going to give it to Riley.
He chooses to defer. Defers to the second half. What a smart coach on the road. Taking the defer to the second half. The fans will be in the bathroom getting a snack. The offense will be able to drive right down the field and score. I love it. Okay. All right. So Riley is our de facto GM today. He will make the final call. Me and Spoon will act as his scouts per se, and his, his reliable sources who can feed him information, tell us this is what I think of this guy. I would take this guy because of this. I would take this guy because of that. So with that being said, this doesn't matter. We're going to do a first round mock draft, enter the draft. All right. Now listen, Riley. This is a tough one, but I think hold on, hear me out. You should really think hard about this, and potentially I feel that you should take a Byron Murphy II, somebody along those lines. I feel like the Bears could really
don't listen to him.
He's scouting for the Vikings right now.
Oh, I know he is.
I'm just kidding. I think we know who Riley plans to take here. Riley, who's the pick?
Caleb Williams, number 1 overall.
Caleb Williams to the Bears. Nobody's shocked by it. All right, Washington at number 2. All right. Now, I think we all agree either Washington's trading or going quarterback. Now, the odds of them trading are very low, I feel like.
Especially after the Sam Howell trade.
I've been seeing a lot of steam, and we talked about it on the podcast this week. JJ McCarthy?
So here's... Okay, you just fucking stole it right out of my mouth. Riley, I want you to go JJ McCarthy here. The reason why is because there's a lot of steam that the Commanders are going to be... They like McCarthy here. And they do.
Yeah, but how do you pass up on Jaden Daniels?
Hey man,
Drake May.
Hey man, here's the deal. Here's the deal. It's me that's trying to talk to him. Let me talk to him real quick.
Let me ask a question.
So I'm an NFL exec right now, and I work for the Commanders. I'm telling you right now, we like JJ McCarthy. We've been watching his film. We see everything. He throws the ball great. We think we can mold him into the perfect NFL quarterback that we want. So why not go with him here?
Who is a better fit for Washington schematically?
JJ.
Then let's go JJ.
Last time Dan Quinn was a head coach, do you know who his quarterback was? Matt Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Tall, slender guy, good arm.
I'm also saying that we've been seeing all these reports with JJ going number 2, so why not just take him at 2? Just try it out. See what happens.
Let's go JJ.
Let's see where we go.
We're going JJ McCarthy at 2. We're going JJ. Send it.
Take it.
JJ McCarthy at 2. Wow, what a turn. So now what do the Patriots do? Do the Patriots keep the pick? Are they trading the pick? What are they doing here?
This is all you, buddy.
No,
you take hold.
I mean, if I may, I am willing to send you 2 first-round picks this year and a first-round pick next year right now if I'm the Minnesota Vikings.
For who?
For the number 3 pick.
No, but who do you want to take at number 3?
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels. That's who he wants. I know that. He loves Jaden Daniels here.
If Jaden Daniels is there at 3, I definitely think that's a possibility.
So do you Do you accept the trade, or do you think the Patriots just say no? We're not doing that. We're taking Jaden. We want him. Or do you think they take the 3 first-round picks?
I think they take the 3 first-round picks only because they are in full rebuild mode right now.
All right.
I don't think they should be bringing a quarterback in until he has more talent around him. And you can do that with the number 1 picks you're going to get.
Well, it says that Minnesota is not even an option here, but that's just not true. So 11, 23, and next year's 1 for the number 3. Let's see what happens if I offer it. They're saying no. Okay, yeah, right. We're forcing the trade and we're sending it. All right. So Vikings are on the clock, and do you think it's Drake May or Jaden Daniels? Who do you think they take, Riley?
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels. All
Yep.
right.
All right.
So Drake May falls out of the top 3 with JJ going number 2. Who do the Cardinals take, Riley? I think we all know.
Hold on. This is I don't know yet. I
want to talk about
Go ahead.
this a little more.
Riley, I'm here to talk about it because I have a trade that could be in mind
No,
here as well.
back trades.
Well,
No. Listen, there's only one team that I can see trading up here, but I want to hear what Riley has to say first to make sure he's on board.
I'm not sure Arizona trades down. I think their decision needs to be between Marvin Harrison and Joe Alt.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind. I'm not
But
there.
no, I do. I am open to listen to trades anytime if I'm the GM. So let's hear it.
So there's one trade I see that could happen here,
Mm-hmm.
and that is Arizona trading back with Denver. Denver trading up to get Drake May because he's available right now. Arizona does not need Drake May. Arizona could get a haul right now if the Broncos were to trade up and get Drake May.
But do the Broncos need to trade up to 4, though?
Yeah, they're at 12. Absolutely. If
they
don't,
could trade up to 5, but they could trade up to 5.
They
Yeah,
could.
who is the next quarterback needy team?
New York.
That's New York is. So New
Giants.
York would be. That's what I'm worried about. Are they going to do it too late or are they going to do it too soon? If they don't do it, then I'm taking Marvin Harrison right here, 100%. If they don't trade back,
That's kind of the boat I'm in. I don't think the Giants take a quarterback. I think they're paying.
So who are they taking? Right? Who's Arizona taking then?
So you think they take Marvin Harrison? If they take Marvin Harrison, I'm cool with that. Take
Well,
it.
you're my scouts. Who do you think they need more?
I think Marvin Harrison's a generational talent.
He is. They probably
Joe
won't trade back.
Great left tackle in the NFL for the next 10 years.
No.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
They take
All right.
their wide receiver that they need.
Then let's go Marvin Harrison.
Okay.
Cool.
Now here is where they could, because the Giants could possibly get a quarterback. Who knows? So maybe the Broncos are trying to trade up with the Chargers here.
What do you think? What Riley? What are your thoughts? Give us your thoughts here for the Chargers.
On the Chargers, I like the top 2 wide receivers left and Joe Alt.
Okay. So that's 3 picks.
Especially with them having shipped off Mike Williams and Keenan Allen.
I mean, may I throw Brock Bowers into the situation?
No.
I mean, Brock Bowers may be the best tight end prospect we've seen in the past decade, and that includes Kyle Pitts.
Do you think his ceiling is higher than Malik Neighbors?
That is a good call.
Because I think Malik Neighbors' ceiling is a top 5 wide receiver, and I feel like Brock Bowers' ceiling is Travis Kelce.
I know this is y'all's pick, but the more I look into Brock Bowers, the more that I see him falling to like just outside the top 10. The more I look at it. But
man, it's a tough decision because I feel like Malik Neighbors would get more touches with
Here's my thing. When you think of as the GM, you're Jim Harbaugh, right? You're or head coach, GM, you're both, whatever. If Jim Harbaugh is your head coach, who do you want in his scheme? A plus tight end or an A plus wide receiver?
An A plus tight end if he continues with what he did at Michigan.
But that's the same with Malik Neighbors, right? If he continues what he did, I'm telling you as your scout. Both of these dudes will be top 5 at their position in the next 3 to 5 years. Who you take?
Then let's go Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers.
Okay.
Goes. All right, now New York's on the clock. Drake May is sitting at number 6.
Mm.
But you said you don't think New York goes quarterback. Where do you think
No.
New York goes with this pick?
All right, so Riley, I'm gonna step up real quick. I'm gonna
Yep.
say if Brock Bowers goes at 5, and the Giants are sitting here with Malik Neighbors and Drake May, it's possible they could trade back. If they don't, though, they're taking Malik Neighbors.
I was gonna say the
I-
LSU wide receiver.
They're gonna
Yep.
take Malik Neighbors here. That's what I think.
and even because now whatever rookie they draft next year will have a weapon to throw to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think they probably take Malik Neighbors here.
So Riley, GM, what's your
Malik
pick?
Neighbors, draft
Malik
him.
Neighbors at LSU. All right, Tennessee is on the clock. Now I feel like this one's pretty easy. They went out and they got
Really?
Calvin Ridley. They've had taken a few weapons on the offense. I mean, there's one 10 out of 10 prospect left on the board.
Well, hold on.
No. Let it go. Let it go.
No. What's right? GM
Oh
is
yeah,
speaking.
Riley
Shut
is
your mouth
I'm sorry.
spoon.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
The
Sorry,
GM is
Riley.
talking
You are the GM. You speak.
What? Why should Tennessee not take Drake May?
because they
Are
just
we-
drafted
are we
Will
that
Levis
sold?
last year.
Are we that sold on Will Levis? Because I am not.
I
Well,
do
but-
like Will.
But they
Levis.
just took Will Levis last year. You're punting on your quarterback choice of last year.
Yes,
They just
but
took him.
when are they going to be at this pick again? Do you
Potentially
want this?
next season. You think Tennessee's going to be all that great? You think they're beating out Houston? They couldn't even beat out Houston and Indy this year. You think they're beating them out next year?
I think they're closer with Drake May than they are with Will Levis.
I think
They're-
they are going to be fighting the Jaguars for last place in their division.
Do you care if
Oh,
can I
that-
speak
that
up
was-
real quick?
What'd you say?
I was gonna say, do you care if I speak my 2 cents?
Oh, go for it.
I think there's 2 choices here. It's Joe Alt, or they trade back.
I agree
that's
with
it.
that. But Riley, you are the GM, and I
I
would
think they
like
either-
to-
Go
I
ahead.
would like to say. It doesn't say when he was. Do we know? Okay, so he was the first pick of the second round last year, so barely not a first round pick last year. So you basically spent a first round pick on a quarterback last season. Are you going to punt on that guy and say he's not? He's shown you I'm not the guy. Like I'm definitely not him. Throw me into the wilderness. I have no chance of being a good quarterback. Like if that's the case, then you take Drake May here. But if there's any chance that Will Levis could be the guy, then you stick with him. Sorry if you can hear my dog barking in the background.
Oh, you're good.
It's tough. I know.
Well, hold on. They did just take. This is a really tough one. They signed Tony Pollard. I could just as likely see them taking Joe Alt as I could Drake May. Just because you're the scouts.
We would
go
advise you to take Joe
Joe
Alt.
I
we
would
would
advise
advise
you to take Joe Alt here.
Then let's take Joe Alt.
Okay, cool. All right. So next up we have the Atlanta Falcons,
Now
and
Here's a
they
fun one.
they need a quarterback bad down
No,
there.
they don't.
Uh,
No, this is a fun one. Honestly,
this
to
is
work
fun. I see
So-
this as the Broncos trade. Like if
No,
I'm
why?
Denver,
Why?
I am.
with. Why?
Why? Because the Patriots are sitting in front of me still.
Yeah.
And if Drake May falls to them, they're taking Drake May there.
No, if I'm the Broncos, I'm talking to the Bears right now, trying to get a trade involved, and I'm letting the Falcons take their pick. That's
Well,
what
why
I'm
not?
doing.
Why not just talk to the Jets then? Why talk to the Bears? Why not?
I mean,
sit
you're
back?
not wrong. You could.
well, no.
But
All right,
as-
hold on. We're getting off track.
we are.
The Falcons are on the clock. You are the Falcons GM. We've signed Kirk. We've added a bunch of weapons for Kirk. So I feel like, if we're the Falcons scouts, I think we need to go defensive interior here, or we need to trade back because we can get it. I feel like we can get our defensive interior guy at 12 to 15. So I would say we trade back and get some more draft capital out of a trade partner, but that's just me.
So Riley, here's the deal.
There are some-
You're the GM right now. Realistically, we could trade back, and we could still take Dallas Turner or Jared Verse if we trade back a few spots. We could take either one. or Latu. We could get a good edge rusher out of this.
So
if
the,
we go
the
back.
interested
But now-
parties, I'm as your scout. I was just on the phone with the other teams. The interested parties are the Patriots, the Broncos,
Broncos.
the Raiders, and the Saints. Those are the interested parties in our pick.
Yes.
I don't see the Patriots trading down just to trade back up.
Okay.
Good point.
What were the other teams? Denver and the Raiders?
Denver and the Raiders.
Raiders, Saints.
I think out of these three, I think the Broncos are the most likely to try to trade up because they really don't have a quarterback.
Yes, but I would like to throw out, I think the trade is more likely to happen with Chicago than the Falcons.
Okay,
And that's-
well then who the Falcons
And
take?
that's
If you
what I
don't,
said.
if you don't
I,
like
I
it, who do
said
the Falcons take?
I say the Falcons take Dallas Turner here. 100. I think they take Dallas Turner. If they don't, maybe Jared Verse, but they're taking an edge rusher here.
I'm going to say this. Spoon says Turner. I would say Jared Verse. I would take Verse over Turner.
I think it's
This is tough. What system do they run on defense? A 4-3 or a 3-4?
Both are 4-3s.
But Dallas Turner is coming from Alabama. Jared Verse is
So,
coming from
pass
Florida
rush-
State.
Pass rush grade for Dallas Turner is at 89. Pass and run defense is only a 69, and Jared Verse is at a 90 and a 65. So Verse is a little bit better pass rusher, a little bit less run defense. Dallas Turner isn't quite as good at pass rushing, but is a little bit better at run defense.
Let's go with the better pass rusher, only because I saw what Chicago's defense looked like when it didn't have a pass rusher at all.
Well, that was Atlanta, not Chicago.
Okay.
No,
Because your experience. I get what you're saying.
yes,
I get what you're
you need to have an edge rusher to run a
I get what
4-3.
you're saying. Cool.
Okay. Well, now
All
it's you guys.
So now Chicago's
I'll
on the
take away.
clock.
And Chicago's trading down. They don't have many day 2, day 3 picks.
So you got New England, the Broncos, the Raiders, the Saints, Jags, Rams, and Steelers. Who you take?
Broncos. Take my Broncos here.
I do think it would be the Broncos.
Alrighty, so the Broncos send the 12 and a second round next year. 73% chance to get accepted. We can
Nope.
try it. We can try
You
it.
can give it a shot.
Let's take away the second round pick and add more later
This
round
year?
picks in this year's draft. Like maybe a 3rd and a 6th.
So let's take the 121. I mean, this says it, and then that
Yep.
offer
No. I was gonna take the 6th away. Just give them the 3rd. That'll probably be
just an extra third.
Just give them
Yeah.
a 3rd.
All right, it's accepted. So Broncos are on the clock. Who are they going with?
Drake May.
Drake May to Sean Payton. I hate you, Sean Payton, but you get Drake May.
I like
The
it.
Jets are on the clock. Who are they taking?
Man.
They have a huge need at wide receiver.
They do.
I mean, they did just trade for Mike Williams, so I would
Yeah,
say
and
it's a
Garrett
huge
Wilson.
need. Garrett Wilson. Romo Dunze is kind of that same type of receiver, so that doesn't make a ton of sense to me. They have Sauce on one side. Do they go Quinyon Mitchell?
Well, this is my
Potentially.
pick, right?
I think they
Well, we're just-
go.
we're
I'm
just
even,
discussing.
right?
We're just discussing. We're just
Wait, who's-
discussing.
Who's
I'm-
the
I'm-
next top O-line prospect?
Well, I'm thinking Fuaga.
Fuaga,
That's
yeah, I was gonna say.
probably who the next.
But they just
offensive
signed
lineman.
They just signed a tackle. They just
Well, it's
signed
either-
a tackle on free agency.
They're either going to take Roma Dunze or Fuaga here. That's what I see.
There's no chance they take Odunze.
yeah,
It'd either be
not to be a
Fuaga.
3.
So go Fuaga.
Yep.
All righty. All right. The Patriots are on
you.
the clock. What do you? I mean,
Oh, take Romo Dunze.
Oh, absolutely.
all
Why
right,
not?
Odunze.
I love it.
Chicago is on the clock. Who's Chicago going?
Chicago. Okay, so this is where it's Riley's the Bears fan.
May I throw
Dude.
out Jerzon Newton? I
Can-
think that dude's going to be an absolute game wrecker in the NFL.
Would you take Byron Murphy here?
I would
Can-
hate to see Newton on the Bears. I'll put it that way.
Man, I'm not going to completely rule out that they wouldn't trade down again.
No
from Murphy.
chance. No.
I'm
We
not,
are
I'm not going
as
to
your
trade down
scouts,
again.
we
No,
are-
I'm just
no.
throwing that out there. I
Not
could see
again.
them trading down again.
Not
yeah,
again.
but as your scouts, we're advising you heavily don't do that. There's a lot of talent on the board, and it will
Yep.
be
There is.
gone by the next available pick.
The top interior defensive lineman on the board.
is
On the
Byron
Pro
Murphy.
Football Focus board or my board? Because my board is Jazon Newton. Sorry, Jazon.
Oh,
Jazon Newton is my. I think he's going to be an Aaron Donald level game wrecker in the NFL.
Yeah, but mine
Ben,
is
what do you
Byron,
think? You're the
mine is,
Texas guy.
Mine is Byron Murphy. You take Byron Murphy here. Absolutely. Why would
Riley
you
is the GM.
Oh.
Byron Murphy is the better graded prospect via Football Focus, but I've seen a lot, and I mean a lot of boards where Newton is the number one overall defensive player. So do with that what you will. Who are you taking?
Given the information I have, I would lean towards Newton.
Well, here let's just look at this here. So
Who-
you have a pass rush grade of 91, run defense of 80, and then Newton is pass rush of 84. So he doesn't grade nearly as well. But against a
Take
great Penn State team, against a good running team here, he's had some bad games
Get
against.
the fuck out of here. Texas literally played Alabama. They played a good Oklahoma team.
He played well against Alabama.
And Alabama
played
should have
well
beat
against
Michigan
Oklahoma.
in the playoffs. And I'm still going to hold to that. They should have beaten Michigan in the playoffs. And he
That-
played well against them.
Now that we're looking at the grades, I'm leaning towards Byron Murphy.
Thank you.
All right,
You
so
take him
fine.
here.
I wanted to give you. I didn't want to just let you settle for the guy that I like. I wanted to give you all the information possible. I want to make the best decision for our organization. Who are you taking?
Byron Murphy.
Byron Murphy. All righty. The Raiders are on the clock. Who?
would
I mean,
love
is this a
pick right
potential
now.
landing spot?
I would love this pick right now if it was me. But go ahead.
Hold on. I mean, there's some quarterbacks on the board here.
Yes, but
There's also good talent. There's Dallas Turner still on the board. Dallas Turner, Max Crosby, Christian
yeah,
Wilkins.
No, I do like
Tanu
that.
and Mitchell are both there too.
A defensive head coach. Let's
Where's our pick going?
Let's go Dallas Turner.
Dallas.
Oh,
Turner.
Dallas Turner falling here? What a great pick.
All right, New Orleans is on the clock.
Now, if I'm New Orleans, I'm leaning quarterback.
You don't have to say if
Really?
I'm New Orleans. You are New Orleans.
You
so
are New Orleans.
I guess
read
yeah,
wherever
I
you
guess
want.
New Orleans.
Really?
I think you take a guy, let him sit behind Carr, and then move off of Carr.
So who
Well,
you
it's,
taking?
it's Bo Nix if I'm taking somebody to sit behind Carr. But I was going to say, if you don't take Nix, I'm
I
probably
mean, Bo
taking-
Nix is a Taysom Hill clone. So like you have Bo Nix on your roster already, a guy who can't throw but can run really well. So like if you want to take another thing you already have, go for it.
Just say, if you don't take a quarterback, then I'm probably going to take Fatanu here from Washington. Stud tackle.
Let's take Penix.
Penix.
You want
Penix.
Penix?
Yes.
Okay.
Penix. All right.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Indy is on the clock. I think Indy goes defensive back here. If I'm with it as a scout for Indianapolis, I'm telling you our secondary needs help. I would take your favorite cornerback on the board because I think this is too high for a safety. And I would recommend Quinyon Mitchell.
Yep. That's.
Then no argument. Let's go Quinyon Mitchell.
Oh, cool.
I agree.
The Seahawks are on the board. Brand new defensive head coach there. Newton is sitting pretty for you. As your scout, I am writing the card out for you right now for Newton. So
Now,
you just want to hand that in.
well, I guess no.
It's
I
either.
can't-
It's
I
either.
can't go.
It's either.
You're the GM. I'm just a lowly
Well,
scout.
no. I
just-
was about to throw out Seattle taking a quarterback, but then I remembered that they made that Sam Howell trade.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Sam
So
Howell.
they already have a guy in that role.
Yeah.
So who were you saying, Brenner?
Newton, the defensive tackle.
it's
out
my
of
pick.
Illinois. Well, we're not doing specific. He's the GM. It's his pick. We're just scouts. Giving him
I
insight.
love
Who?
Fatanu. They need a lineman. Give them Fatanu here. I'm telling
They need a guard or a center. They don't need tackles.
give
They
them
have,
Fatanu.
they have 2 tackles that are almost like top. They're both top 15.
Fatanu can play interior offensive line. Give them Fatanu.
They're not going to draft a high end tackle to move him to guard.
There's not another high end guard.
Well, so you don't get your high end guard through the draft.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
tackle
I'm
is
going.
not
I'm going Fatanu.
tackle
You can go
is not
where-
a
you
need
can, you
for
can go
us.
defensive end, whatever, defensive lineman, whatever you want. But my pick is Fatanu.
We re-signed Leonard Williams, so we have a defensive tackle has high pedigree, that's been in the league that you can learn from. I think we should beef up the interior. We've struggled in run defense in recent seasons. I feel like we should take another defensive interior guy here.
You are living in Seattle, so let's go.
You're not wrong.
Let's go Newton.
All right,
Why not go Jackson Powers Johnson there?
that also could have worked. But see,
Anyway,
see
it's too
right
late
here-
now.
I mean, so tell me this: if we're
Okay.
Philadelphia, do we call Jacksonville for Jackson Powers Johnson? Nope.
No.
GM doesn't like it. Scratch the trade.
No.
GM doesn't like it.
I don't know. I could see Jacksonville taking a tackle.
Well, no, I was gonna say if I'm Jacksonville, I might be taking Nate Wiggins or Terrion Arnold.
Mm.
Give us some corner help.
GM, what you doing?
Or
What
Cooper
do you-
DeJean. You could take the first white boy corner out of the draft. It's up
Yeah.
to you.
What do you think is a bigger need, offensive line or DB?
DB.
I think they need help, DB.
Let's go the white boy himself, Cooper
Cooper
DeJean.
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 DeJean. Yes, he's right.
All right, the Bengals are on the clock. They need a tackle.
Yeah,
He's sitting there.
let's
Let's
give
not
it to him.
Fatanu.
All right, the Rams are on the clock. The Rams just signed Tre'Davious White this week on Tuesday, so they don't really need a cornerback anymore. They need some D-line help. They need some tackle help. I mean, for me, this is hard. This is
It's a
really
very
hard.
tough pick
Yeah.
because I could see. Man, I was gonna say I could see a trade back.
I do
possibly.
Fashanu. I do Fashanu.
Okay.
You both
They do
agree?
they need tackle help. Fashanu.
They do need help, and Fashanu's good.
Let's go with Fashanu.
All righty. The Steelers are on the clock. I feel like either Nate Wiggins or Terrion Arnold here, both like no-brainers.
I would lean towards Terry and Arnold if it was me.
Let's go Terry and Arnold.
Okay.
All right. Spoon's a big SEC fan.
Love it. Of course. That's the
He's our
best
SEC scout. He said he goes to all the SEC games. For us. All right, so Miami's on the clock. We just lost our center to free agency. Jackson Powers Johnson is sitting right there.
Eagles. The only way the Eagles trade up is for Jackson Powers Johnson.
But I think Miami takes Jackson Powers Johnson because they don't have a starting center right now.
Then do you think the Steelers? Did we fuck up on the Steelers? Then
No,
Maybe
I
they
think
trade
the
back.
Steelers- I don't think so.
No, I don't.
They
Neither
need
do I.
players.
All right. Well, I mean, I
What do
just
you
know
think-
that.
what do you think here with Miami?
Especially if Pittsburgh is looking to make a playoff push, I don't think they need to be trading back for future
Yeah.
capital.
What do you
Well,
think?
no,
Miami
they
does?
would have traded back 2 picks, and they would have got between Nate Wiggins or Terry and Arnold, because they're going to get one of the two.
But then
And they could have given the Eagles Jackson Powers Johnson, and they're looking for a center already.
yeah, but
That's my point.
they weren't just going to trade straight across.
Well, no,
were
they
gonna
would.
be
They
additional picks.
I don't.
but
I
they
think you
need
guys
to-
are
I'm saying-
overthinking this. You're
I'm-
Spoon. You're
okay, go
way
ahead.
overthinking this.
I'm
You're
not
way
at all.
overthinking this.
They
You
would have
are.
traded. They would have traded picks straight across, and then the Eagles would have given up like a fucking 4th or a 5th round pick to the Steelers. And
I
the
mean,
Steelers would be
potentially,
like,
but
"All
it's
right,
already
cool."
done. It's already done with.
It is.
We already
done. Yeah,
did it.
you're-
There's
it
no
is.
point in thinking about it anymore. We've already made the pick.
Okay, go ahead.
Philly didn't pick up the phone. Their phone got unplugged in for like 20 minutes, and they didn't pick up
The
the phone.
landline got cut.
Yeah, it fucking. We sabotaged them and cut the landlines. I sent my fucking ace to do it earlier. Okay, so Miami's on the clock. Who have
Let's
they
take
got?
the center.
They take the
Jackson,
center.
They take the
Howard,
center.
Johnson.
All right.
All right, now Philly is on the clock. Now, Philly has a need at wide receiver, linebacker, and anywhere in the secondary. Their secondary was god awful last year. I think they go secondary here because
take-
that was their major weak point.
And you probably take the best on the board, which is Nate Wiggins right now.
Yep.
It's either Nate Wiggins or you take safety Tyler Nubin.
It's either him or Chop Robinson for me. So maybe Latu. Latu's still sitting there.
Let's take Nate Wiggins.
Yep,
Cool.
I agree. I'm cool
All
with
right, New England's on the clock. You got defensive head coach up there. I mean,
it. They already got their quarterback, right?
Yep.
Latu.
Latu.
Yep.
Dallas is on the clock, Riley. Who's
Ooh.
Dallas going with?
They're going
Let's
with a
talk to our
tackle.
Dallas insider.
They're taking an offensive lineman, and here I would take Amarius Mims.
I like
That's
Mims.
up to you.
I like Mims.
Then let's go Mims.
All right, Green Bay is on the clock. I would say their biggest need is safety right now for who's on the board, and I would say they take Tyler Nubin.
Spoon.
They don't need offensive linemen at all.
Not tackle. I mean, Bakhtiari did just retire actually, so they could use, but he's been in and out of the lineup for the past 6 years, so it's not like they really need the help.
Well, I mean, I was going to say they could take J.C. Latham or
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They
Tyler
could definitely
Guyton.
take a tackle, but if I'm them, I'm taking Nubin because I know I can live without Bakhtiari. I've done it for a long time, so that's not as prominent of a need for us right now as
they need a
safety.
linebacker too, though.
But they did just sign a safety in free agency, so you have a high-paid safety, you have a rookie safety to learn underneath him.
And you
Xavier McKinney comes in to teach the new kid,
They do need.
or
a
you just shore up the
linebacker.
tackle spot and you just have a rookie starter.
Could take Peyton Wilson here.
Yeah, let's shore up the tackle spot.
J.C.
And-
Latham.
Yeah. Just because they did just sign McKinney.
Okay. All right, Tampa Bay's on the clock. Do they pair Tyler Nubin with Antoine Winfield Jr., the Minnesota safety duo down in Tampa Bay? Do they reach on Brian Thomas Jr. to be Mike Evans' replacement here in a few years? What do you think they do here?
My thought process is that they just signed Baker Mayfield for a huge deal.
But they have 2 good tackles already. They have tackles, and those are the good offensive linemen on the board.
I'm gonna say give him some
I mean, you could
protection.
go
Give him some extra protection.
Zach Frazier here, but he's a good
No,
ways down the board. It would be a little bit of a reach to me.
Like what?
I
picks?
like the move at safety. I don't think they take a wide receiver in this draft.
Okay.
It's a toss up between safety and offensive lineman, and I think you take the safety.
The BP. Alrighty. Arizona is on the clock. Your quarterback's Kyler Murray. You have a Sooner coming out, one of the best prospects on your board. I would, if I'm Kyler Murray, I'm probably nudging my GM like, hey, there's a boy who went to my school I would like to play with. We kind of need that over here.
But hold on, let me think. Did the Cardinals trade down? Or did they
No,
have another
this
pick?
is from another. This is from Houston. This is from another trade.
Okay, who did they took? Marvin Harrison?
Yep. They already have a wide receiver.
Yep. So then let's go that tackle out of Oklahoma.
Tyler
Tyler
Guyton.
Guyton. Okay.
Yep.
I'm
I
cool
like
with
it. Buffalo's on the clock.
Ooh.
I
Buffalo has a lot of teams.
Lot.
I think.
Yeah.
I like Brian Thomas Jr. I think they take a wide receiver. I do.
think they go defense. Kool-Aid
Really?
McKinstry. You just lost Tre'Davious White. You just lost your all-pro corner. You need help in your second.
Yeah. You still have Stephon. I mean,
As of right now, but
Yeah,
you still
as
do
of right
technically
now.
have him under contract. So
So on the defense, who do you think they would?
Kool-Aid McKinstry.
DB?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna take a DB.
Then let's go Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid going to Buffalo. Oh yeah. All right. Detroit. So I've had this theory about Detroit every mock draft.
No,
You don't have
it's
to do what
always
I wanna
Peyton
do.
Wilson.
It's
always.
Peyton Wilson. Dan Campbell is gonna take a linebacker.
No.
It's Dan Campbell. First
No.
round pick. What am I doing with it? Linebacker. He took a tight end and a running back in the first round last year. You're telling me he's not going linebacker this year?
No.
I mean,
And,
one of the best
and
prospects on the
he's-
board.
He's
Their
gonna take
defense-
another. He's gonna take another edge rusher, and it's gonna be Chop Robinson. That is who he takes.
He is absolutely going linebacker.
But you still
He's going
have
defense.
Aiden Hutchinson. I can't name. We play them twice a year. I can't name a single linebacker for Detroit. And their defense was the weak part of that team last year.
Dan Campbell's a fraud, and that defense is ass. Ben Johnson carries that team. They're
Yeah.
blindly lucky that he's come back for a second time. So I'm being biased. It is what it is. You are the GM. They could easily do multiple things here. They could go tackle. They could go wide receiver. They
Chop
could do a lot
Robinson.
here. They could go Zach Frazier.
I don't know.
Chop
I'm battling hard with Chop Robinson and that linebacker.
Chop Robinson is such a reach. I mean, he's all the way
He's-
down here at 43. I mean, you got Brandon Fisk ahead of him, Chris Braswell. I mean, you
Chop
got-
Robinson is going to destroy the NFL.
He's
such
a
good
pass rush. He's a third down guy. He comes into pass rush, and that's it. He can't
He
stop
is-
the run.
He is,
But that's all you need him to be when you have Aiden Hutchinson. He doesn't need to be a star
they're
right
going
away.
to have the two best
Do
rushers.
you want Chop Robinson?
Now you guys
Okay.
are starting to talk me into it.
It's okay. Go if you want to take the
I'm trying to
linebacker,
talk
take
you
the
out of
linebacker.
it. I think
Yeah.
it's Peyton Wilson
Go ahead, take it. I don't care.
or Spoon.
I
thinks it's
just
Chop
I'm,
Robinson.
I'm high on Chop Robinson.
Let's take the linebacker. I think that's more of a Dan Campbell thing.
It's the most Dan Campbell thing that will ever happen.
Yes.
What are the Lions' last 3 first-round picks? Linebacker, tight end, and running back. All right, next up, we have the Baltimore Ravens. You can't see them because I'm in the way, but right here is the Ravens pick. They have needed wide receiver, O-line, edge rusher, and cornerback. Brandon Graham? Graham Barton, not Brian Graham. Graham Barton is a good pick here. O-line help. Brian Thomas Jr., though.
That's what I'm thinking.
He's a big, tall, fast, lanky guy who is the opposite of Zay Flowers. So you get the thunder lightning combo between the two of them. I like that pick.
but Graham
LSU guy.
Graham Barton sitting there.
Yeah, he is.
Would you trade back with the Niners? Let them grab Graham Barton, and then get like an extra pick, and then take Brian Thomas.
Let's see if there's nobody that even wants to trade. There's
Okay.
nobody.
Well, if there's nobody, then yeah, I would take Brian Thomas here because I think they need wide receiver help.
Let's go, Brian Thomas.
All right, the Niners are on the clock. You sending Graham to him?
Yep, that's word.
I mean, we need offensive tackle help.
Yeah.
Best tackle on the board.
Yeah.
Pretty complete roster outside of that. All right, now the Chiefs are on the clock. Kansas City is on the clock. Nobody's calling us to make a trade.
Xavier Worthy.
Nobody's calling us to make any sort of trades here. We need wide receiver, tackle, and D line.
Xavier Worthy, take the quick guy. That's
You
what
have a
Andy
you
Reid
have a
loves.
Super Bowl level defense already. That's very young. You need some offensive weapon help.
Andy
I would-
Reid loves the quick guys. Take.
They just
Xavier
signed
Worthy.
Hollywood Brown, who's your speed guy. Lad McConkey
Sign
is
another
your
speed guy.
possession. Cooper Cup, Puka Nakua, Adam Thielen, Garrett Wilson comp. So this gives you your possession guy. You have your speed guy. You have Kelsey.
They had
I
Nicole
like
Hardman and Tyreek Hill on the same team. They love speed guys. Take Xavier Worthy.
I like Lad McConkey here.
Man.
I think Worthy is not good enough a prospect outside of his speed. He's going to win with speed.
He
but
runs
that's how he's
great
gonna win.
routes.
He runs
He's a
good
great-
routes.
He is a
He
great
runs
route
good
runner.
routes. He's a good route runner. He wins his routes with speed, not technique. That makes him good.
That's
not
what,
great.
and that's what Mahomes wants. He wants speed. He loves speed. Take Xavier Worthy.
Who is the better athlete between the two?
Xavier Worthy.
I
That's
would
easy.
I would argue Lad McConkey is a better athlete. He wins every other category except for speed. He wins vertical. He wins route running. He wins hands. But Worthy is the better speed guy without a question. He is the faster and quicker of the two. So it's like comparing Marquise Goodwin to Garrett Wilson is kind of my comps for the two. Now I think he could be better than Goodwin, but I also think McConkey's ceiling is Garrett Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Man,
I
this
mean
is tough
if you
just
look at
because
both their
Andy-
ceilings, if you look at both their
Andy-
ceilings, McConkey's ceiling is Garrett Wilson, and then Worthy's ceiling is I can't
If you
put him at
don't
Tyreek
take
Hill.
Xavier Worthy, you take a Donnie Mitchell, and you take the bigger wide receiver. You take the 6'4" who just ran a 4.3.
Yeah,
That is
Adonai
who you
Mitchell's pretty
take.
good. He's good.
You take it at Adonai Mitchell. You don't take Lad McConkey. I'm sorry, or Lad McConkey. I'm sorry.
McConkey is a Garrett Wilson clone. I know I've said that like 3 times now. He's a Garrett Wilson clone. The Mitchell pick isn't a bad pick. Is a
Mitchell
good pick.
is a 6'4", and he's a 6'4" wide receiver who just ran a 4.3.
So here's how he did.
Him or Xavier
did-
Worthy, dude. You
He
just
didn't
take a big
perform
back-
well against good teams is my only thing. He didn't perform well when he couldn't just win with raw athleticism. He didn't win, and in the NFL, he's not going to win with raw athleticism. So that's my problem with him.
Now go to Worthy.
Worthy, I got to find him way down here. He's lower than what?
Yep.
How far down is he? I wouldn't even. So Worthy here. Worthy performed well against TCU, didn't perform well against Alabama or Washington. He's a speed guy. He has some good route running ability in the quick game, so short outs, stuff like that, but he wins with his speed. He doesn't win with his technique. And so, like, I haven't looked at McConkey's grades. So he played well against Auburn, terrible against Kentucky, terrible against Tennessee, played really good against Missouri, who has a really good secondary. Played really good against Florida State, who has a really good defense.
Man, this is tough.
2-time national champion wide receiver.
Just take Mitchell.
And I'm trying to think, when was the last time Andy Reid had a star, big-bodied wide receiver? Any wide receiver?
I mean, he's tried. He got Sammy Watkins. He's tried it.
Any
just
wide
didn't fit.
receiver who has succeeded under Andy Reid, Tyreek Hill, Deshaun Jackson, they weren't very big guys.
Well,
And
but wasn't T.O. T.O. was huge.
Oh yeah, no, you're right.
T.O. was big. T.O. But like McConkey's not like some massive human being. I mean, he is. Let's see. First look, he's 6 foot, $185. He's Garrett Wilson. He is fundamentally as sound as it gets with unbelievable hands and body
So
control.
at that point, just take Worthy.
He's more of a Stephon Diggs.
Well, no,
Lad McConkey is a
I
Stephon
think-
Diggs, Garrett Wilson type.
I think Kansas City needs sure hands right now after leading the league in drops last year.
Darius Toney, yeah.
And you take
I
Mitchell.
agree. McConkey is a true wide receiver. Adonai is a freak athlete.
You get him that 6'4" receiver that they need because they just signed Hollywood Brown.
But they have Travis Kelce.
Let's take Iodine. What is it? Iodine? Adonai. Because he still has the speed that Andy Reid can use him in some of his gimmickier plays, but he also has the size to be a legitimate number one.
I think that Garrett Wilson, or not Garrett Wilson.
Nice.
I'm just gonna be quiet. I think McConkey's a great pick. I think he'll be a great receiver in the NFL. Anyways, here is our look. Zoom out of here a little bit. Here's the first round that we all came up with together. GM Riley coming in clutch, setting everybody up for success in the future. Do you guys have any closing remarks for everybody at home?
I mean, I see 32 teams are going to a Super Bowl now.
Shit. All right, everybody.
All
Thank
right.
you guys for tuning in to this edition of a Wide Eye Sports Mock Draft. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share us, don't share us, whatever you want to do. We appreciate you sticking around, and you guys have a great week. and we will see y'all next time.